Welcome to the Logan Fields podcast. Today, I'm talking to Ankur Garg, who is the co-founder of Shredz, the founder of Youngry, and the founder of Flexwork Studios, among other things. Thanks for coming, man.
For sure, brother. I'm glad I got a chance to be one of your first guests. This is so exciting.
For sure. We're going to jump right in. I heard that you were actually heavily involved in the first Fyre Festival.
Bro, you're going to jump right to Fyre Festival? That's the first jump? Okay, so when those documentaries came out, I was kind of scared. I really thought that my name was going to get dropped. But yeah, what do you want to know?
All right. No, as we get into this, I've always thought it'd be cool if podcasts had some food and drinks involved. So I actually brought the App Guy chef, Chef Manjo.
Oh, Manjo's here? That's
Manjo's
awesome.
here. He's going to get us taken care of.
How's it going, guys? I am
What's up,
Chef
man?
Manjo. I am the App Guy chef. I'll be serving you two today. Ankur, I know you don't drink anymore. However, I was working on some mocktails upstairs. Would you like to try some?
That is so kind of
There
you.
you go. Logan?
So, Chef, what do we have here today?
This is a fruity mocktail. We've got some fresh fruit, some berries.
This looks delicious.
Thank you so much.
This looks good. Chef Manjo can make anything you could dream of. Let's have some food while we do
I get
this.
to have food?
We're going to have some food later.
Well,
You get to choose anything.
Manjo, I married a vegetarian, so you know I want steak.
Steak?
Steak.
Tomahawk steak?
Of course.
Nice.
Always.
I got you. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be back.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. All right, awesome. Okay, back to Fyre Festival.
Where's he going to make the steak?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's going to be great, too. All right, back to Fyre Festival. What was your involvement with Billy McFarland in Fyre Festival?
So McFarlane had the whole Magnesis program. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? There was
Yeah.
like a membership thing, kind of like Founders Club or
Yeah.
any one of those types of things. I think I was member number 3.
Wow.
I was trying to figure out ways to meet new people in New York and network and so on and so forth. And his whole thing was, if you're a member here, you get free access to this lounge. I've never been to this lounge. I've tried. Every time I've tried to show the card, I couldn't get in for whatever reason was going on.
Oh, okay.
But I paid. I paid for the membership.
Yeah.
And
Do you
then
remember how much it was by chance?
It had to be maybe 1,200 or maybe it was 12,000. It had 12 in the number for sure. I just can't remember what the membership was. And you were supposed to get invited to all these events and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to meet the guy that was behind this because I figured he would know other CEOs and entrepreneurs and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, when you have access to thousands of influencers and someone wants to do marketing and they need influencers to market something, sometimes you're going to get called to do some introductions.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Haley. Didn't mean to send you to the island, but
Oh, no.
but yeah, so people went to the island to promote this whole concert, and I kind of feel a little bit at fault for how many people went there because we sent some of the ambassadors and influencers that posted about it.
So this was like in the middle of the height of Shredz, I
sure.
guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's talk more about that because a lot of people don't know, and I assume there's other people that would argue about this, but you were essentially the creator of influencer marketing, right? And Shredz was the company that was deploying that.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say 2009, 2010, I mean, text-based posting on social media was pretty much it, right? You were posting on Twitter, you were posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
Everything else had pretty much gone away at this point, right? There was no Friendster, MySpace, so on and so forth.
Right.
And Instagram was in its nascent stages. The idea of having photo was also in its nascent stages on Facebook. And
Interesting.
literally in its infancy of using those images to drive traffic to a website, no one was doing it. Well, why weren't people doing it? There weren't really ways to track it. So Shopify wasn't a thing. Like WooCommerce was nowhere near what it is today. So we used PayPal buy now buttons on custom built HTML landing pages.
Okay.
And we would drive people to go to those pages off of their social media handles, Instagram. We must have had hundreds of accounts when we first started, and then eventually turned into thousands of accounts. But bro,
And these are, do you mean from the models? These were,
well, no, we had generic accounts, and then we had model accounts. So the thing was, you can't ask, a jack dude or a hot girl to just like randomly drive traffic to a page. What we came up with back then was we would have like at CrossFit or at bodybuilding, or obviously we didn't have bodybuilding, but other handles and so on and so forth. We then drive traffic from those pages to the athletes, grow their following.
All right.
And then those athletes would then talk about the products that they're using, which happen to be Shredz products.
Yep.
And then that would get people to DM them, right? And like, hey, I would love to get whatever message you're having. And DMs weren't even a thing back then. We would have to get kicked. Do you remember the Kick app?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, kick me, and I'll tell you what products I'm using.
Wow. I mean, I forgot about it, but yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. But yeah, this idea of attribution to going to an athlete or to an influencer for driving traffic to a page, we were definitely the pioneers.
That's really interesting. And you started doing so you were kind of the lower key version of what Dan Bilzerian did like later, right?
I don't know. I think we were doing it bigger than Dan Bilzerian at a certain point, for sure. I mean, there were campaigns where Dan would work with us.
Right.
And borrow some of our influencers for certain things and so on and so forth. But, I mean, when we got to 2015, 2016, when Dan was on his heavy rise on socials, that was when things were kind of changing around for us. And so that's where it wasn't the exact same experience for when you probably got introduced to Dan.
Sure. So what was it like when you were interacting and kind of managing all of these influencers in the beginning? Because now I think influencers probably feel a lot more entitled, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like in the beginning?
The truth is, most influencers that we started working with had no followers.
Okay.
Right. They didn't come to us with an existing following.
You made
we
them
were building
influencers.
their following.
Got it.
And whether we get credit for it or not, the truth is those top level accounts that we talked about, that was what was driving all the traffic. Because no one wanted to follow a person back then, let alone a brand. But they would follow a generic account about yoga, right? Learning about yoga poses, or about outfits to wear when you're going to the gym, or things like that. But then when the athlete would appear on those pages, they would go 500, 1,000 followers a day.
Okay.
And we were essentially creating shouts for ourselves within our own little network of accounts. And I mean, in that essence, is an athlete really going to be a diva? Probably not, right? Because you're creating them from scratch to where they're going to go. Don't get me wrong, our athletes were phenomenal human beings. You don't grow if you don't have the it factor, right? But the truth is, managing influencers didn't get weird until we caused our own problems. Right?
How so? What do you mean?
You pay one influencer a certain amount because they're the number one influencer. Everyone wants to be Captain America, right? But some people are Hawkeye. It is what it is. And so, a Hawkeye never wants to not get, they don't want to get paid what Hawkeye gets paid. They want to get paid what Robert Downey Jr. gets paid. So that always causes some internal conflict and so on and so forth. But the bigger thing always comes down to, we paid everyone based on effort and based on their following and based on the results that were driven.
Okay. So would it be safe to assume then that you actually had a big network of athletes and influencers, and it was like the top 5% that were actually doing the work and getting results?
So I'd say at our peak, it was probably over 2,000 of the top fitness athletes in the world, our influencers. All 2,000 of them were making 5 figures a month.
Good.
And so when you say like the top 5% were getting like real paychecks, I mean, the biggest guys were making in the 6 figures, mid 6 figures.
A year?
A month.
A month.
Yeah.
Wow. As Shredz athletes. That's really cool, especially at that point, right? So okay. So you connect with McFarland, and you sent a lot of your talent there, right, to the island?
He didn't want the fitness influencers. He wanted access to the previous part of my life where I was a DJ. And I had access to all these major tier 1 celebrities and other people through my friendships with managers and so on and so forth. And then those tier B, tier A celebrities, they wanted access to brand deals.
Yep.
Because they were discovering that brand deals exist now.
Yep.
And now, when you find out how much one of our Shredz athletes make, people go crazy, right? And they're like, oh, we need to be part of this. And one thing led to the next. And I'm like, hey, you wanna shoot your shot with me with becoming one of our influencers, maybe you should go do this other shoot.
Yeah. Okay. So you go through this. Now you built up a lot of relationship capital, and then you start to deploy at least some majorly in the Fyre Festival. it all goes sideways. So
well, we didn't have any part to do with the festival.
I understand.
Right? It was just a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
And there were so many marketing campaigns back then. I mean, you remember when Starbucks would misspell names?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They paid us to have 500 of our influencers go out there and have a misspelled name on a cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, this kind of stuff happened all the time.
Yeah.
That campaign was like one of hundreds.
Well, okay. And I totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
not responsible
No,
for
no,
Fyre
not at
Festival.
all. Not that grilled cheese nonsense or whatever. Or not grilled cheese, raw cheese
Oh, yeah.
that they were
I
feeding
forget-
people.
uh-huh.
None of that stuff. And I have never spoken to that guy again.
Yeah. Well, when you go through something like that, and it's not your fault, but you've deployed some relationship capital and you've gotten other people involved in something that goes sideways, what did you do afterwards to manage those relationships that were that wind up hurt from?
That's a good
that?
question. I think the reality, my relationship was never really questioned because
Okay.
I was the one making the introductions to the members of our team and extended teams or influencers, celebrities, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
The direct point of contact was someone from like Ja and McFarlane's teams that were managing that shoot.
Yeah.
And then they were talking directly to the managers of all those celebrities and the models and so on and so forth. We were just the ones that like helped them kind of negotiate a rate so
Okay.
that it made sense for them.
So you didn't really have to do much cleanup on the relationship
Not
side?
on my end. Now, there were definitely a lot of conversations after the fact, like what did you get us into, or like
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Right.
But I had so many opportunities that I could give them something else.
Okay. So that makes sense. Because one of the things that I'd love to hear your thoughts on is just how do you manage relationships when they start to sour because of a connection? I mean, you and I went through that a little bit where I had made an introduction to you.
Yeah.
They didn't do their part. And I came to you and there was a decent amount of money outstanding. And I was like, hey man, I want to fix this. Now you comped some of it. I paid some of it. And I tried my best to fix it for our relationship's sake. Sometimes that can be really difficult though. Like, what are your thoughts around managing those kind of things?
I got lucky that my immigrant parents really taught me like take the responsibility of everyone around you.
Okay.
And I think, if you've ever watched Game of Thrones with like the Lannisters and how
definitely
they would
have.
be like the Lannisters always pay their debts.
Yeah.
It was a common saying back then, like a Garg always pays his debts no matter what.
Yeah.
So if there was a scenario where someone felt like they were done wrong,
Yeah.
I've always gone out of my way to try to make it right for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a handful of people that truly took an L because of some partnership that we
Yeah.
had or something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a spreadsheet of all of those guys. And eventually at some point, 2 years, 3 years down the road, I can throw an opportunity and fix it.
So you track this stuff.
my karmic record or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been tracking it my whole life.
Yeah.
Now, the oldest person that I haven't found a way to fix it was when I was in high school. I had a guy sponsor a show and he didn't make any ROI on the show that he sponsored. And so I think that guy moved out of the country. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to fix that one.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I keep a record of every single one of those situations.
It's really interesting. One of the things I've seen from you is how you handle network. Now you're really connected, right? So your ability to help people with your network is at a critical mass. But how did you get to that? How did you get to a place? And by the way, I noticed also that you're always trying to throw me favors. And I'm trying to say no usually because but you never asking for favors. Anyway, how did you get that critical mass of network and how do you maintain it?
I mean, you hear these guys on podcasts all the time, right? They're like, you have to offer service first and then the world will turn around back on you.
Yeah.
It is not an easy thing to maintain, right? But with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
If I have access to the resources, why not share it with the people that are within my network? Now, I don't keep track of any of my positive efforts or favors. So don't think there's a spreadsheet where Logan owes me 22 favors or somewhere.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where when I have it, everyone around me has it. And then the networking thing, I think I'm one of those personalities where I trust pretty quickly if I respect you. And as long as I respect you, I'm willing to do favors or do whatever I can to help that person.
Okay. Well, what would you say to somebody, though, who they don't have the network built yet? How would they go about that? How did you go about it? And how long did it take you?
Man, you know what it is? You have to really enjoy talking to people.
Okay.
So like high school, Ankur was out there at like old people homes, hospices, asking people for advice. And I mean, you hear some guys talk about this all the time, that like you get the best advice from people who really live life. I think it was just this idea that I had no fear of rejection. I had no fear of failed relationships.
Yeah.
And I would go up and talk to anyone and everyone. So if someone out there is like, I don't have a network, you have to go find ways to build your network, right? There's chambers of commerce that you can go to. Granted, half of them are total worthless pieces of whatever.
Yeah,
right? But it's a place that you can start and try. There are plenty of meetups. I don't even know if meetup is still a thing, right? But there's plenty of scenarios where entrepreneurs will meet. There's Founders Card, Founders Circle. There's Chew on This over here, conferences. Yeah. I mean, you save up $2-3 grand, you could go to one of Onyx events. I mean, I don't even know what they're discounting it to these days, but I'm sure there's a price to get into one of those things. And you meet amazing people.
Yeah.
But Zoom and COVID's really changed it. You can network very fast now with anyone and everyone. If you just go sign up for one of those webinars or any one of those types of things, and you just ask a good enough question or be there for the volunteer opportunities.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. Now, when you're at an event, which is how we met at one of Onyx and Gull's events. But I noticed there that you were definitely talking to people, but you seemed pretty selective to me.
You know what it is at one of Onyx events? There's always these like side rooms where people can go hang out and meet in. I tried to stay in every side room for like 5 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I would go see who in that room is worth talking to. And then outside of that, I was just me.
Yeah.
Right? You know how there are some guys that just end up being the life of the party because everyone goes and hangs out with them, and whether they're the loudest or the most charismatic or whatever it is. I mean, for the lack of humility, like 90% of the time, I'm just me. Right? Like I'm the guy who will be the New Jersey New Yorker. The other day we were having an interaction at like a market where we had to go get some food, and people from out of town were with us.
Yeah.
And they were looking at me like, the interaction you just had with the guy behind the counter was so New Jersey, New York. I'm like, that's just me, man. Like I'm the same person, whether I'm talking to my staff or whether I'm at one of these networking events.
Yeah.
And I feel like people just gravitate to you when you're you.
Yes. Well, how do you judge who, for lack of a better way of saying it, is worth talking to? I feel like for me it's a little bit intuitive. I wonder if you have it a little like codified.
The truth is like if the person is trying too hard, it's not going to work for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then the truth is, if they're like, give me,
yeah,
I'm not going to react to that well either.
Right.
When it's, what can I do for you? I'm instantly intrigued when someone approaches me that way. When it's like a masculine energy of like friendship, because like male friends are the greatest thing on planet Earth for men, and I'm all about that. We can talk about that if you want to, but if I get that energy, I'm all about it.
As opposed to somebody just competing right away.
Like competing right away is very interesting for me.
Right.
And you've seen me do this in conversations where if it's like true beta energy, I'm like, yeah, you're right, man. You're the man. Right. But then when it's another alpha, it's never, I try to remove it from being a competition.
Yeah.
To being more about am I joining your pack or are you going to join mine?
Yeah.
Right. And it's not even like whose pack is bigger.
That's a good
It's
frame.
more like not everyone can be the quarterback. Right. And I'm down to be the running back or the wide receiver or whatever it is. Everyone gets the, the fame of the win. And, it's just when you find a pack of lions, I'm all about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the way we met is I saw you spoke. You spoke at that event, and I think we had said hi a little bit, and then there was like a casino night at the end of one of the days, and I showed up. I just looked for you. You were at the roulette table, And I put
No, there's more details to this.
Okay.
We were at lunch at this event.
Oh, we did have
and
lunch
there was a
together.
guy who was totally like beating his chest, saying
I
that he
remember
was
this.
the man.
And we were both
and
like-
he did all these app things. And he was telling me how he had built this app and it was like the greatest thing ever. And then you asked 2 questions and it was like, oh, so it's a modular app. Oh, you didn't actually code anything at all. And the guy was like, yeah, but it does X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, but you have TapCart. This isn't anything impressive by any means of what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And then he was bragging to me about Shopify, like customer acquisition cost.
I remember this.
And then you and I were looking at each other because everyone else was like in awe of this person.
Yeah.
And I could tell that this wasn't like a conversation I wanted to be part of.
Yeah.
And so then I immediately was like, okay, that guy could be interesting. But then I think you ran off. You had like a call or something happened. And
I can only take so much bullshit, man. Like,
and that's when
you know?
Anik pulled me into my one-on-one meeting.
Okay.
And so then I left to go have the meeting with him to
Yeah.
see if I would, be a bigger part of the mastermind or what it needed to be. And then later at the casino night, that's when you came up to me and you're
Yeah.
like, we have to connect. We have to network and talk about what this is. And then I was just like, of course, man. Like, you're the only person in here I even cared to talk to tonight. I immediately threw all my chips in to whatever it was.
Me too.
Lost
Yeah,
all
I
my
put 'em
chips.
all
So
on
within
black.
2 minutes, I'm like, all right, let's go over there and talk
Yeah.
about what business we're going to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things is if you've been around long enough and you can read the signals of competence and somebody who's just not trying too hard. Because, A, if you're successful, you don't have to.
Agreed.
Like, you're good.
100%.
Yeah, and I think we were able to both just read that. But also past that, there's dudes for sure. There's men and women that are competent. And we've talked about this, that I respect a lot. There are a couple specific ones coming to mind that we've talked about that I follow them and I listen to what they have to say, but I don't vibe with them. Right? So I'm not going to necessarily do stuff with them. So
Yeah, I
it
can
has to be
understand
both
that
for me.
completely,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you wouldn't hang out with that person, you can't do business with them. It just doesn't work for me, at
Yeah.
least. You can have vendors that you wouldn't hang out with.
Right.
But
Yes.
do business with someone is a whole different world.
Yeah, and we're getting more and more embedded. And I think, one interesting thing is that both of us from the beginning, we had a clear understanding of how to pace things.
For sure.
Neither of us were like, hey, let's all in. Because you have to test things. You have to pace them out, right? Because it's not about just who someone is. It's like the time in their life as well.
But you only learn that if you've had failure.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Right? I always feel like when someone doesn't know pacing or how to test people in a relationship is because they truly haven't experienced a rock bottom change.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And you see that, I think maybe a little less now, but say 5 years ago, you saw a lot of like crypto dudes like that.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm a fucking genius, man.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, man, you got a little lucky on this one. Yeah.
I mean, were you able to jump into Bitcoin when it was early?
I don't know what early means. But listen.
Because you're like the Solana godfather.
I ran the Solana ecosystem, so I have a little bit more thing, but I was never doing altcoins.
Okay.
I was never doing altcoins. That was especially, I maybe got a little bit, to be fair, a little bit in the beginning, like little bit. And then I ran the Solana ecosystem and I was like, oh, no way. We're not doing any of these altcoins.
Bro, this one guy came to me when it was $8 for Bitcoin and asked me to just put in $3,000.
Oh my God.
And I was throwing money around left and right at that point in my life.
Yeah.
But the guy who came to me was not someone that like I would have ever taken financial advice from.
Yeah.
And I just didn't take it seriously. I wish anyone else in my life had come to me.
I know.
I would have happily done it.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how that works. Are you getting into any of that now?
I mean, I have a weekly buy purchase that I make.
Okay.
I firmly believe Bitcoin will get to 1 million at some point in the next 5-10 years. And it just seems silly not to, right? It's better than putting it in the bank, in my opinion.
It's a proven asset class now.
Yeah.
Bitcoin specifically.
Yeah, and Ken gives me a good amount of advice, who we also met, or that you met at that event that we met at.
Yep.
And I mean, I've never met anyone smarter with managing money. So
Yeah, and he's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because he holds the cards close to his chest, right?
he sure does.
But that's another example of somebody who they're just so successful, they don't have to prove themselves at all.
Yeah.
So what would you say though to people who don't have that? They're not really successful yet, and they're still working on their skills. How would you want them to show up in a way that makes you want to connect with them at, say, an event?
I mean, Logan, let me ask you this. Like, if a kid came up to you and was like, hey, how do you like your coffee? I would really like to just go get you a cup of coffee. How would you react?
If it's someone really young, I'll do it. If they were my age, I would not do it.
Because you don't know what the hell is going on with that weirdo trying to
Yes.
get you coffee. I'm saying like a kid coming up to you.
A kid, yeah, I'll do it.
You know, 18 to 25, you can tell that they're young, they're green.
They're going to get
wanna learn.
$100,000-$200,000 of consulting out of me for nothing.
Yeah.
For free.
Now,
Yeah.
normally when it's an older person, I will test them by inviting them to the gym with me the next day.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
will you wake up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. to come with me to Lifetime
Do
or
something that's
whatever the gym
uncomfortable.
is and so on and so forth. And 95% of the time they don't show up. And you just know instantly, okay, like I'm not going to invest in this person.
Do you mean that they commit and then don't show up?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. That's a great test then.
Right? And even if they show up, like don't show up and try to overexert yourself or do too much.
Yeah.
But then don't show up and like be on your phone the whole time. Like actually engage in conversation with me because I'm giving you an hour of my time.
Yeah.
And that's a trick that works for me every time.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So like different tests that allow it to be kind of close-ended, quick, that can test people's level of show up.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And almost nobody has show up. Like almost nobody.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like you wanted my attention, I gave it to you, but then you were too busy to be bothered by waking up one day to potentially change your life. That seems weird.
Well, so for you, how are you attracting, like your staff is excellent. I've worked with them obviously a lot. You attract people that have high levels of show up. How are you doing that?
I don't know the answer to that question. I've been struggling with it for the past couple of years and trying to figure that out. I have just as many misses as I do have hits these days with people.
You're just washing them out quickly?
I mean, I listened and read every book possible after I left Shredz about what I could have done differently, right? And the hire slow, fire fast, I have fully adopted that in my mentality.
Yeah.
When someone shows you that they're not willing to work and they're not willing to do the job that you're asking them to do, they got to go.
Yeah.
Right. And then when it comes to partnerships and percentages and so on and so forth, I'm really only bringing in people I consider family.
Yeah.
Right. People that would take a bullet for me and vice versa. So there's no question about that type of loyalty and what happens there. But man, the workforce is not what you would think it would be, especially out in like the Midlands of Jersey, right, in the suburbs and where it needs to be. With Shredz and other companies, we were in prime locations. So the workforce
where were
was.
you?
So we had the the campus in Jersey City, because for the lack of a better phrase,
okay.
We had 47 apartments that we paid for as a fringe benefit for the staff.
Nice.
And
That's
to make
big.
it so that they didn't have to
That's
commute
big.
to work. They were they were literally in the same building that we worked in. In LA, we were in Irvine on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And we had a similar setup where everyone lived within a 5-minute radius.
Yeah.
And when we were in Beverwijk out in Netherlands and Melbourne out in Australia, similar situations with the staff that we had over there. But I mean, finding staff in those areas wasn't tough. It wasn't even like a hard thing to do. You put up an Indeed listing, you find the right person. But man, Springfield, New Jersey has beaten me up a bit for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Some of the candidates that come in expecting to work from home 7 days a week and then not even show up for a Zoom call is weird.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay to work from home, but then you got to be on all the calls. Like you can't miss something.
No
That
kidding.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, with camera on.
With camera on. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I don't even care if the camera's on.
Okay.
My barrier to entry has lowered so much
Really?
at this point. But we've entered a hybrid workforce. We have international guys.
Yep.
And they're super hungry and they crush it.
Yeah.
But again, you have good guys and bad guys.
Right.
And I have just as many misses as I do have hits when it comes to staff right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the staff that I do have, I would give them the shirt off my back
Yeah.
if
yeah.
they asked for it, right? And then maybe that's why it is what it is. I also I've never asked anyone to do something I wouldn't do. Like if I would ask someone to clean up something, like they probably see me clean it before.
Yeah.
Right. Or if I know it's the first time I've asked them to do something, they probably have seen me like at 9 p.m. doing the exact same task.
Yeah. Well, I noticed something really interesting about you because obviously I've had a very front row seat to you starting Youngry and Flexworks, and you're scaling Youngry like fast. And one of the things I've noticed that I don't think the people around you completely understand what it like the level of talent that it takes and like strategy it takes to do what you're doing. But what I've noticed is you'll be heavily involved and direct things and pivot, and then you're good at like starting to take yourself out and handing it over. And you do it pretty quickly, like months, I'd say.
You got to have people in your team that have their own vision and mindset for the tasks.
Yeah.
Give them the opportunity to take lead. But you got to show them your way a few times first.
Yeah.
The one thing that someone had explained to me much younger when I had Shredz and when I was on our come up was that like no one around me has ever built a multi-million-dollar company. And anyone who thinks that their way is better than my way is probably wrong.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have a multi-million-dollar mentality, you're never going to grow a business to be what it is. So I'm lucky that the staff trusts me, and I'll show them how to do it the right way a few times. I mean, imagine me wanting to take you out to dinner, and then my team being like, "Why are you spending money taking Logan out to dinner?" I'm like, "It's called relationship building."
Yeah. Well,
right?
I'm sorry about that sushi that one time.
It's okay. It's okay. Funny enough, I just went back there and I had like probably one of the best omakase experiences of my life.
It was really good.
But I got stuck with the bill again, and it was even higher than our bill, which I
Really?
didn't think was possible. But they turned into an all-you-can-eat omakase for us,
Oh, interesting.
which they're not supposed to. It just turned into all-you-can-eat because we didn't stop ordering.
Well, let me tell the story really quick. So you were taking me to lunch one time, and we were in the middle of filming, so it wasn't going to be a big long lunch, and we were going to Five Guys, and you're like, "Hey, I'm going to take you to Five Guys," and we're driving in Springfield, and I saw this sushi place, and I wasn't really thinking through everything. I was like, "Oh, hey, that looks good. What do y'all think about sushi instead?" We pull over. And it was like,
don't forget the part that I had a new member of my team in the car.
Oh, right. It was
Right?
Jake's first
Yeah,
day,
and
wasn't
so
it?
I can't let this guy think that I'm not going to make this adjustment in this situation, right?
Yeah.
So,
And it wound up being like $1,000 lunch or something. Am I
yeah,
right?
yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's okay, right? At the
was
end of
really
the day, when I first started out and I was talking to some super successful businessmen, and
Yeah.
these like old people homes, hospices, so on and so forth, they broke down the value of a dollar and how much you get reinvested, and it stuck with me for a long time. So this idea that like 5% of all revenue should always go back in the relationship building, whether it's sending the Christmas packages out to a client, whether it's the dinners, whether it's me printing custom logos on mics or whatever it is, like you have to reinvest back into any sales relationship. Otherwise, they're just not going to stick around.
Yeah.
Right? You think about it, right? They have like dog food subscriptions that you can go and get food shipped to you every month. And, dogs only last so many years, right? In their lifespan. If a dog passed away and a shipment of dog food comes in, like that company knows how to handle that customer service where they send you like a care care package. They waive that last order. They cancel your subscription,
Wow.
no problem.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of the company right now, but they've been all over the news and podcasts and things like this for what they do. But things like that, man, it just goes amazing when
Yeah.
it comes to long-term customer retention, long-term team culture building. I mean, I give out shirts to anyone and everyone that comes to the studio.
Yep.
People love that.
Yeah.
At least I think they do. And at Shredz, I mean, I must have, you know how like Patagonia put out this thing, they're like, too much of our stuff is going into waste bins and so on and so forth. I must have been like the guy skewing the thing in the other direction. I would see Shredz shirts everywhere.
That's cool. Why? Were they like cooler shirts or
No, man. They're single one color shirt
with
printed
just
on
a
a
little
t-shirt.
logo on it?
Yeah. I mean, nothing was little back then. It was a very big logo all over the front chest.
Yeah.
But dude, I would land in like the weirdest random airport and there'd be a guy in a Shred shirt walking by.
Why do you think they were wearing them?
We gave it in every order.
Okay. But what I'm asking is, I think a lot of shirts go out from brands that are just given away that don't get worn. Why do you think people were wearing Shredz?
We built a culture around people being proud of a lifestyle change. We weren't selling the products. We were selling a commitment to getting healthier and fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it almost turned into like the iPhone or like the AirPod situation, right?
Yeah.
You didn't want to be seen with anything but an AirPod when you were walking through the streets. And dude, the Shredz shirt was everywhere. I would go land in a different country and people would be wearing it. And I was
That's
like,
cool.
that is wild. The weirdest thing was when I had my we made it moment was that we were going to Newark Airport to fly to Miami, and Arvin and I were late. And we get to the airport, we're about to go through TSA. We're brown men with beards. It's not a fun process for us, right? Especially around that time. And literally a guy screams our names, waves us over, and goes, "You're Ankur and Arvin from Shredz?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Just walk on by. No scans, no nothing.
That's
just
awesome.
open a door and just like let us walk through."
That's awesome.
I'll never say his name because I'd never want that guy to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But like, I called my uncles, I called my cousins.
Yeah.
And I was like, I made it in life. This just happened. And like, I hadn't flown private yet, so I didn't know what that life was like. But that was the epitome of life experience for me.
That's awesome. Now, do you think that the brand, the strength of the brand name, just the branding was an element too? Because that's a good brand. Shredz, Youngry, those are good brand names. How big of a deal do you think that is?
I mean, I'm a marketing guy through and through, right?
Right.
So branding is everything.
Yeah.
But the key behind Shredz, I mean, we had over 100 million followers across thousands of accounts.
Wow.
That have seen the logo. So like, we were impression kings.
Yeah.
You would see our logo everywhere. With Youngry, what's interesting is I probably have 20,000 Youngry shirts out in the country right now, because I've been doing a business with the name Youngry since 2006.
Oh, really?
That's how early it was.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
And then I closed that business and I started back up, and then I just like left it parked for a very long time.
Right.
And when the multiple of agencies decided to come together, it was like a scene out of a movie. We all threw our GoDaddy accounts on like the table, and like we're going through each other's GoDaddy domains, and like as soon as someone was like, "What's this domain?" I'm like, "No, please don't pick that one. Please don't pick that one." Everyone loved the name, and so then I was like, "Okay, if this is the reaction that we're getting, this has to be it."
Yeah. It's a really good one, and you're scaling pretty fast. What are some of the keys that have helped you go from zero to where you're about to be right by the end of this year?
You know what's crazy? I was just talking to Jason about this, and the interesting thing is that Youngry itself doesn't have the portfolio that the individual partners and individual staff members have. But the stuff that we've worked on is so epic that it leverages itself to the name Youngry when we're in a meeting.
Right.
And I mean, what else could anyone ask for in that sense? That's definitely the secret sauce.
The portfolios.
Yeah, the individual portfolios
Yeah.
of every person on the team, then leading to actually having answers to whatever a client needs.
Okay. And what kind of clients are you going after now? I assume more medium to large size.
Yeah, bro, I'm still dealing with referral business right now.
Yeah.
And it's literally like you will post a piece of content in here because we finally had time to make something, and I'll get 7 DMs of people wanting to work with me. Or, you know, I'm not going to name all the other marketing agencies because, you know, I get a phone call like, "Oh, I'm working with so-and-so and this is what happened. Could you help me fix this problem?" I don't know what's going on with the rest of them, but like probably half of my business is that situation where people are leaving a different marketing agency and then coming to me.
Yeah.
Because I networked with them 10 years ago at some event, and they're now seeing me pop back up on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and so on and so forth. So I think it's just awareness of, hey, I'm back in the game. That is really what's driving the type of business. And I'm being very ambitious with the types of business I want to take on.
Yeah.
Right. We're doing reality TV shows, documentaries, and that only lends itself because we got a guy like Jason.
Yep.
Right, in the company. Then, you know, we're doing political ad campaigns. We're running reputation management campaigns, PR campaigns, high performance marketing campaigns. And that leverages itself to a guy like Cameron, right, who's in the business doing what he's doing. And then, man, our marketing department, led by Ludwig, with the content that we're putting out, they're second to none.
Yeah.
Right. I dare anyone to find another brand creating content at the uniqueness of what we're making.
It's really good. There's a picture on my Instagram where that y'all took where I'm stood with a regular background and there's books falling. Yeah. Those are real books falling. Like that's not some computerized.
I slept on the couch that night because my wife caught a book and she was like, "That's one of my books." So, yeah, no. Sometimes you see a piece of content and you're like, "Oh, they just get it," right?
Yeah. What do you think marketing companies are doing wrong? Let me ask this differently. Why do most marketing companies epically suck?
In 2025?
Yeah.
Because they're asking ChatGPT to write their marketing campaign.
Yeah? Okay.
I mean, you have to understand how AI works, right? It is guessing based on the collective understanding of what anything is. There's no spark if you're just asking ChatGPT for a marketing campaign. Now, if you go to ChatGPT and you're like, here are my ideas for this campaign, and I had 3 successful campaigns, create me something similar, ChatGPT would be great. But people are getting so lazy. They're just going to ChatGPT and like, write me a 6 email drip campaign for so-and-so. I'm taking that copy and sending it to a marketing agency to make it pretty.
So it's not necessarily that they're overusing AI, that's that they're using it wrong and they're getting lazy.
Yeah, what do they call it? Hallucinations, right? So when you ask AI these questions, it starts making up stuff because it's trying to come up with an answer that would make you happy.
Yeah.
Right, based on the question that you're asking. I mean, happy for lack of a better word. But it's just trying to guess based on what it knows.
Yeah.
So, and if you're basing it on what the collective is thinking about marketing, right? I can tell you 100% of the time that if I ask my wife, where do you want to eat tonight? She's not going to give me an answer. But then as soon as I make a suggestion, she's going to say yes or no.
Right.
But like we're getting closer to a destination.
Yes.
Right? Similarly with marketing clients, I'm going to give a suggestion. They might have some vision. All of a sudden, the question has changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so that's how good marketing agencies actually use their brains, come up with innovative concepts and stories and so on and so forth versus bad ones.
How do you deal? I think a lot of agencies, because functionally we're very similar. Even my deliverable is software development and mobile apps. Yours is marketing. But like operationally, there's a lot of similarities. We're both a certain type of service company. How do you deal with, well, let me tell you one of the things I run into. I'm dealing with a lot of startups, right? So the rate of failure in startups is really, really high, which means even if we do really, really good, there's still going to be a certain rate of our clients that, from the startup world anyway, that go to zero because of all of these other factors. And I see kind of 2 things happen. They either go to zero because of they're underfunded, or they go to zero because the founders they're just not good founders. And they're like, and I see this when people are talking to marketing companies a lot of the times, they don't understand where their responsibility starts and the marketing company's ends, and vice versa. How do you deal with those situations where you're having to like realign expectations, but there's already frustration?
You hear that sigh in my voice.
Yeah.
You can't fix bad founders.
Right.
You dump and run as fast as you possibly can in that setting. Now, if they're open to getting guidance, I try to break them down. There's 3 areas of the business you have to invest in, and you fall short in any one of those 3, it's over. You got to have product X, which in your case would be an app, right? And whatever you guys are putting out there with what you guys are building. Then there's audience Y, which you have to have access to, which would be people that need product X.
Yeah.
But you have to have access to them,
right,
which is an investment.
Yep.
Right? Back in the day, it was magazine ads, billboard ads, infomercials. Now it's social media accounts, a community access, events, expos, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then Z is your messaging, right? Or marketing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, 99% of the time, it's the offer that's wrong, right? You're trying to sell what you want to sell rather than what the audience wants to buy. And even in an app, let's say that we build an app for magically picking that restaurant that my wife wants to go to.
Yeah.
Does she want an app to tell her what restaurant to go to? Or does she want an app to show her good photos of restaurants? right, or and the vibe and the reviews. She probably in her head has an algorithm that needs to get answered before she'll pick that restaurant.
Right.
Right. 500 plus reviews, check. Right. Photos that don't look like it's a hole in the wall, check.
Yeah.
Bathroom, like, do other girls like the bathroom? Oh my God, I can actually get this answer. Check.
Yeah.
Boom, we're going here tonight. Right.
Yeah.
But people are like, no, I'm making an app that's a Yelp competitor to just put reviews.
Right. And in that, when you do that, you can make some money, but the only thing you're doing strategically is you're just siphoning off business from one of the big boys. That's it.
You know what I'm thinking about with the siphoning money off the big boys with the apps and things that you come out with? Like, if you truly aren't carving your own lane with some type of edge, that's another reason a lot of people will fail.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Thinking about all these restaurants and my wife, I wonder where Manjo is. I really, really would love to get some of that steak.
Did you say steak?
Yeah.
I did say steak.
So what we have here
Nice.
is a tomahawk steak,
Oh, wow.
served also with
I'll
my
take-
creamy cilantro sauce. Here you go.
Nice.
With a little bit of a kick at the end. So let me know how you like it,
Oh, this smells incredible.
and I hope you guys enjoy.
Manjo, this
Do you mind
this looks
handing us these
amazing.
utensils?
Absolutely. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
And here
And you know me, I love
go.
garlic. So I see what you
Roasted
did over
garlic
there.
as well with some thyme and butter on top.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Love it. Okay, so
This is how
Ankur,
podcasts should all be.
this is how they should
Forever.
all be. Yeah.
Forever.
So this is what we're gonna do. While we eat, at the end here, we're gonna transition to some rapid fire questions. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a sip.
I'm a little afraid of your rapid fire questions because you started off with Fyre Festival.
First, let's take a bite together. We got to see what we think here. It is fancy. Look at this. Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
Some good stuff.
See that presentation too?
Yo, you app guys are special. Does
Okay.
anyone ever confuse app guys for appetizers?
Do you know what? So this is year 11 for us. In the beginning, yes. That actually was a thing. Like 10 years ago. And the phonetics people had trouble with. I'd be on the phone because, back then we were doing more cold calls, that kind of thing. I'd be like, hey, this is Logan from the app guys. They'd be TAC guys, Zap guys. Now it's not a thing. But in the beginning, I seriously considered changing our name because that kept being your thing on the phone.
It's impossible to talk with food in my mouth.
Well, you're going to have to because we're doing rapid fire questions now.
All right, hit me.
Favorite restaurant in the United States?
Zahav. It's Israeli food. It's out of Philadelphia.
Oh, right.
And Mike Salamov as the chef is truly a magician with this combination of salad and savory food.
We need to go there. You and Cam have told me about this multiple times. Go-to comfort food.
Oof. Indian street food.
Yeah?
It always have a very special place in my heart. There's just one dish called pani puri.
Okay.
And if I ever need to be cheered up, just bring me some pani puri.
What is that?
It's like a puff pastry that's filled with savory water and like potato and
Kind of like a samosa?
imagine a samosa, but with like 2 shots of like pickle juice for the lack of a better
right.
comparable.
Nice. Most memorable meal of your life?
Of my life?
Of your life.
So I went to 11 Madison for my wife's birthday, and that was incredible. She's vegetarian, as I've continued to mention in every podcast of my life. And purely vegan meal, like 13, 14 course meal, and it was phenomenal.
Nice.
Glass was never past 3/4 full or whatever needs to happen there. But then in Junmira in Capri in Italy, there's a restaurant called Olive. It was the most food I've ever had in a meal, and then they would give you stuff to take home, like an entire bakery in a box.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
If anyone is in like doing this Amalfi Italy trip, go to Capri and go to Junmira and have dinner at Olive.
That sounds awesome. First big win of your career?
My entire career,
Yeah.
So I think this one's going to sound really petty.
Okay.
When you say big win, I mean like that's got to be a milestone.
Whatever
for
comes
me.
to mind.
So in high school, I had this girlfriend I dated for 8 years. She when she eventually like didn't pan out in the relationship, one of the things she says, I didn't make enough money.
Really?
And so I remember at the peak of Shredz, when I had 4 penthouses and multiple cars and so on and so forth, I got that phone call.
Yeah.
She was like, "I'm sorry, I was so wrong about you."
Oh, that's great. That is a good.
That was a huge milestone. Like,
what'd you
sorry.
say to her? What'd you say to her?
I was a little speechless because it was very confusing. It was a phone number that was no longer saved in my phone. But back then you had to memorize phone numbers, right? So I knew that number when it popped up, and I guess I just said thank you. How are the kids? How's your husband? And quickly got off the phone.
That's a great feeling, man.
Yeah.
Hardest lesson you've learned in business?
Not everyone has the heart that I have. Right? There's a lot of people that will not want to fix something when something goes wrong. And, there's some people that only look at the numbers in the books. And, if you offered to cover half, they're going to make you pay half.
Right.
Even though you might not deserve to pay half.
Yeah, that is a hard lesson. Biggest risk you've taken in business?
Biggest risk I've taken in business would have to be there were so many times where I listened to other people's advice and I shut down things that could have definitely won. And I think those are some of the worst, most regretful times of my life. Scenarios where I knew I had a winner on my hands.
Yeah.
But we had too many other projects. And people were like, you can't move forward.
Yeah.
For example, I have a supplement coming out in a couple months where I have clinical trials that every shake you take, you lose 100 calories.
Okay.
Like a protein shake, but it's a thermogenic protein shake. Every time you take, it's 100 calories. Clinical trials, proven.
Okay. Wow.
Over the next 3 hours, you can lose 100 calories. And you can take it 3 times in a day.
Damn. That's awesome, man.
It's amazing, but it hasn't launched. Because people were telling me it didn't have to happen now. I'm like, this thing is going to be a multi-million-dollar supplement product.
For sure.
And I know it's a winner. But we're finally getting around to it now.
Put me on that list. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
One trait you look for in a business partner?
I got to respect them. Period.
Respect them as a person. Yeah.
Like, if you talk to people that are your server in a rude way, I'm not going to respect that person.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. Yeah.
If you don't respect the staff and like you expect them to work 20-hour days without breaks, I'm like, bro, your staff comes first. Those are scenarios I'm not okay with.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, 3 more, okay?
Okay. Well, I mean, I got the steak out of the way, and the steak was amazing. And I'm kind of happy because podcasting, we're doing this more often.
I know, right? This is a good way to do it. Your best networking tip?
Go to the after party.
Okay.
There's always an after
man,
party.
I hate the after parties. So talk more about that just for a second.
At the after party is when people finally let loose. They're no longer in the constraints of like what the host had organized for the event.
Yeah.
You're not in a hot seat. You're not doing whatever else needs to happen. And just focus on 1 to 2 people
Yep.
to have like really deep conversations and relationships.
Yep.
And it'll make the whole trip worth it.
Okay. I'm usually so tired. But that makes sense.
That's what a Celsius is for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I promised my wife I wouldn't drink energy drinks.
Well, that's what a good cold plunge is for.
Yeah, that's what a good cold plunge is for. If you could open a restaurant, what would it serve?
Indian fusion food for sure.
Love it.
Yeah, there are so many variations that like people have done with Mexican fusion or Chinese fusion. I don't see any in Indian fusion that is done well. Sure, there's elevated Indian. You
Right,
see like
right,
lobster, butter chicken, butter tikka masala sauce, so on and so forth like that. All that stuff is out there.
You would do more mid-market.
Not just the mid-market thing, but there's actually things that accentuate traditional Indian spices in an amazing way that you don't have out there right now.
Okay, I like that a lot. Last question. Most inspiring entrepreneur to you?
In the whole world,
Yeah.
Manoj Bhargava. He's the guy who created 5 Hour Energy, the shots.
Oh,
you see all
right.
the gas stations
Yeah.
and stuff.
Uh-huh.
There's really a whole movie that's out there, a documentary that's out there about this. He's a billionaire. He's spending 99% of his money trying to cure the world's problems. He's literally created barges that like used to sit off the coast of California.
Yeah.
That would convert salt water to fresh water.
That's cool.
To help with the water issue.
Yeah.
They've now since moved to South America. In China, he's created scenarios to help like the medical institution with like blood flow and like full body suits that people could wear, because there's a group of engineers and doctors that just felt like blood flow was the main problem as we get older. And there's just like bicycles that'll like, if you go on a bike for 30 minutes, you could power a whole home for a day
That's cool.
in like third world countries.
I have heard
and
of
he's
that,
just giving
yeah.
those bikes for free
That's cool.
to every house that'll take one. Like, what an awesome guy.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast. Where can people find you?
I mean, on every single social media platform, it's at Ankur K Garg. The Youngry handles are Stay Youngry or it's at Youngry. But the problem is there's a rapper named Youngry that I can never get half of those accounts from. So it kind of just is what it is. And then the studio space is Flexwork Studios.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. This has been the Logan Fields podcast. I'll see you next time.